So let's conclude the Maimer, the second last paragraph. So the shaila that he was addressing is, how can we possibly be at the state that a Yid is in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, and that is to be the head and dashba on the year round. When state there profound inspiration. The essence of the answer is the essence, that there's no difference between a Yid Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur and a Yid year round, because the Nekud of Mesiras Nefesh is there. That's a Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yalalucha Selo. The difference is the awareness of that, the inspiration. So that differs widely, but not in the Nekuda. And therefore, the Avodah is to bring all of those Inyonim into the year. So V'zeh Sh'Avodah Rashon is ending the Ma'im B'Yom Kippurim in Chag HaSukkos Avodah Klolos Al Kol HaShana. And this in light of all that we explained till now, what a Yid is, what it means. Asher Kedeshana B'Mitzvosav V'Tzivonu, have explained all that at length in the Ma'im. Till now we understand why this Avodah is not detached, but it's the Avodah of the year. Like a klal, she'ein b'chlal elamash befrat. What exists in the overarching principle is nothing other than that which is expressed in the details. Hainu, sh'loizem levad shekadei shavaydi d'rashav Yom Kippurim. We did this, okay. So it's not only that in order the Avodah Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur v'Chag HaSukkos klal tiyeh boy, in order for all of that, these Avodas to be the way they should be, so that required tzichel yis hachon lifnei. You had to have the details leading to it, the specific Avodas of Elul, and all the Avodas that Elul convey, was all hinted in the various Rashi Tevis of the word Elul. So that is the prat, the details that must precede the klal. So there has to be achona, which then leads to the result, Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur Sukkos. That's leading to it. So that's one thing. Now that's not so difficult to understand, because you're going up this ladder and you're reaching a pinnacle. But now the question is, how is that to pervade the details which follow? The answer is because we're talking about an Akud Atzmi here. And Akud Atzmi means what the Yid fundamentally is. So if that's who he is, that's who he is. It's more revealed here, less revealed there, but that's who he is. And therefore, the Mesiras Nefesh Nekuda is constant. And therefore, all the Avodah Shashon Yom Kippur can be and must be manifest in the course of the year. Not only the build-up to it, but the drawing down of it. Post Tishrei, Avodah Hashanah Yom Kippurim v'Chag HaSukkos el Prat, as you bring down all of this to the details of the Avodah Kol HaShana Kula, of the Avodah of the year round, Shamayim the Matzav HaYos and Naila, the lofty state that the Jew was, Sheba'im Dim Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippurim, that a Jew stood on Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, Yom Menorayim, days of awe, Yom Kedoshim, holy days, Shebehem Ba'imrim, and that's the Diya Kasher Kedeshana B'Mitzvosav, because you say then HaMelech HaKadosh, still Yumshach Etzloi, all of this is drawn down with him, B'chol HaShana. Throughout the year, B'chol HaSiyosov, and all of his actions, performances, behavior. In the most simplest moments, this is the same year, the same Nekud of Mesiras Nefesh. Because he's connected always first with your holy name, is explained, Malchus de Ein Sof, which is the expression of Im Ata Kodesh. You are holy, as explained in the beginning of the Ma'im at length. And this truth affects his entire entity. It transforms him. That he becomes elevated to a stage, which we say in Shemon Esrei, who are the Kedoshim, that's the Yid, that's the Nekud of Mesiras Nefesh, and therefore his praise, he's explained it at length, is a praise of Selah, because he's connecting to the infinite Hashem. Even as his soul has come down into the body. Here in this world, he is part of those He's still called holy. He's still not part of the world, even though he's in the world. And if he forgets that, he's reminded painfully. Al Shem Oisa Yo'oy Sheyev Shel Tzamtzem, because it comes from a place of Oir, which the Tzimtzum didn't affect, as we explained at the beginning of the Maimer. The Shimcha Kodesh. And therefore, V'chol Aseh Yosef, and all of his actions, Shemekayim B'matziv B'chol Derechech Hadeyo, with which he carries out the commandment, know God in all your ways. They explained the diak of the no, the Eyu. That was explained in the previous paragraph. And B'ofen Shekol Asiyah, all of his actions, Eiseh Shetir, whatever they might be, whatever the inyan of a teichna, whatever its individual content may be, what is it? It's Hilul HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's, you look at him and you see the praise of God, and which God, not the pretty God of creation, but Sela, Atzmos Mahus, as he explained, that Sela means without limit. She is the Kadosh Baruch Hu for the Sela. So he mentions again now that the praise here is in a way of Sela, which means forever, as the Gemara says, Shkamakim Shneim Natzach Sela Vod, whenever these three words appear, Ein Lahefsek, it doesn't stop. So his praise is not God simply as creator. He reveals the Eibishter himself, and as he's saying in the Maimer, in what? In the smallest things that he does. In the smallest things he does, we're struck, and we see this is not Stam. He's not a person simply out to make pandas, he's not a person out to survival, he's not even a person out to be in harmony with nature, which would make him a beautiful person. That's not what we see in him. We see in every nakud of him, we see Likus. We see the Halaluch HaSela. We see that he's bound up with Atzmos and Mahus, and he's revealing the Eibush to himself in the world. And it's dafka the small things that he does. There's something about the Jew that makes him otherworldly completely. So if we don't embrace it, we make the world very nervous. Because we're otherworldly, we're a threat. What is this? And if we embrace it, it's godliness. But if we don't embrace it, the world senses you are different, fundamentally. We don't care how you dress and how you look and how you speak in your language and how sophisticated you are, how French, English, Polish, Russian you are for 900 years. In a moment on the dime, you are a fundamental alien. Yalaluch HaSela. So the moment the Rebbe is saying that now we're ready to embrace that, the world is ready rather, to understand that by a Yid living this transparently and openly and unabashedly, and yes, he's different, he's in the Shama, which is a Chelek Elikah, he's a Kodesh, and we're here in the world to bring that holiness to the world, and you are part of it. You meaning every human being. And I have something to tell you. So please pay attention. And that is Nis'ava Kadosh Baruch Hu L'Yisrael Baruch Did B'Tachtonim, and you're part of it by living a godly life. And I'll show you how. That's what it's come down to right now. As I mentioned on Shabbos, the spokesman that says Jews, they're afraid of death. And he says, they'll never defeat us. Someone who's afraid of death can't defeat a people that is not afraid of death. He says these words, they will not sacrifice one person. Did you watch the video? They'll not sacrifice one person for any ideal and ideology. All they care about is money. So where does he get this from? What do you think he was to get from? Valacha. Comes to Shabbos and life is threatened, so we overwrite Shabbos. And he's saying, so you'll die. That's no point in you go to heaven because you kept the Sabbath. And the Jews put the life before everything. So the answer now is, listen here, my dear friend, to say that. I can't say that, not now anyway. But Akaponim, who taught you about heaven and hell? We did. We did. So let's tweak this a little bit. Heaven is very important. It's not the Tachlis. The Tachlis is heaven on earth. And therefore the guf and the body is sacred. You're right, not per se. It's sacred when Kedoshim Yahalalucha Selu. When the body is part of and expressed as a likus, then it becomes everything. And that's the message that the world needs to hear. And that the Arab world needs to hear, and they will hear it. They will hear it first and foremost because it's the emes and finish. The emes just resonates. And just historically, Christianity, Islam, it's all rooted in the Torah. By their own admission. Muhammad is the extension of Moses, of Yoshka. Which is why missionaries were bent over backwards. If you can't prove in our Torah that Yoshka is the Messiah, Christianity is over. There's absolutely nothing. No leg to stand on. That's the whole thing. And it's also crumbling and falling apart. It's over already, that battle. And Islam is also rooted in the Torah. So they're ready to hear what we have to say because we're their roots. And now, listen, friends, see, this came along with revealing the ultimate purpose of creation, Dirib Tachtonim, so this is a nice new pshat that came along. Another book on the shelf, another 50 books on the shelf. No, it's the final message before Geula. It's the message that we need to bring to the world, starting with our own children. God needs and desires you here. This Nisavakas Baruch, the gewaltige Chiddush that God has chosen to need and needs you, wants to be part of your life. This fundamental, essential, atzmisdike message is the answer to every angst, including this existential conflict over the soul of the land of Israel. It all comes down to this message, Dir b'tachtonim. And Eibishter wants that tachton should be in this physical place, as you saw. You got to listen to this guy. He says, guys, he says to the Jews, you all have dual passports. Just go back to. Why? You don't belong here. You don't behave like you belong here. So go to New York, Paris, Poland, Russia. And make a lot of money over there. That's what he's saying. Idealism, that's us. And he's saying Israel is about this ideal, spiritual something. You're not taking it. So it's ours. It goes to Ishmael, the older brother. We got to listen to them. That's from the enemy. From my enemy I become wise. If you don't understand who you are, listen to what he tells you. They tell you you're a foreigner and stop paying attention. Thousands of years they're telling us this. It's time to wake up now. From this great cheshech has to come the great oir. And Be'ezer Hashem, it's happening. It really is happening. Including the Maimer. All of the above, everything we described till now is primarily about the connection of the neshama with the Eibishter. That's mitzad the neshama. When Mashiach comes, and it's starting now, then will be fulfilled the promise that the flesh will see, and that's starting now. So then, Kisher, the Atzmos Eretz Baruch Gamim Aguf, this will embrace not just the neshama but also the body. The neshama will be nourished from the body because the body is rooted in Atzmos. May be very soon, but Bias Mashiach said, Bagola Didan in our time. Amen.